Good morning everybody. I am back today with a recipe. I had on my food plan, my menu for the week for the dinners, that I was going to do a cake, and I didn't know what kind of cake, and now I do. This is going to be an apple cider donut cake, and it's not made in a donut pan, but it's in a, what are they called? They're called bundt cake pans, yeah. So, and then you put sugar cinnamon on the top. It looks like a really tasty autumn-ish recipe, and I'll show you the ingredients. It's going to take, first of all, a boxed cake. It's a real simple. So one, I'm using the Duncan Hines Perfectly Moist Spice Cake, and it is 15.25 ounces. And I'm using a cup of apple cider, not apple juice and not apple cider vinegar, but just tasty apple cider. I'm using half a cup of applesauce, and this is the no sugar natural applesauce, and 3 eggs room temperature. I'm going to put all of these ingredients into the cake mix. I'm going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon. The reason there's a teaspoon of cinnamon on the counter is because I was going to leave it in the spoon to show it was a teaspoon, or was it a half? I don't know, you'll see it in the recipe. Anyway, it flipped over. So then I thought, well, I'll just keep it in the lid there. And then I got a tablespoon of dark brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and I made this so it's, you know, homemade vanilla. And that's it. Mix it up, pour it in the pan. I'll show you as I do it. So now everything's in there except the apple cider. So I've got the applesauce, 3 eggs, vanilla, cinnamon, brown sugar. Is that it? I think that's it. And so here comes that apple cider. And this is just going to be it for your cake. So I'll get this blended together and show you the pan. This came together really easily, but I did break my little whisk, so I haven't had it very long. They don't make them like they used to, so I just changed over to this. And you don't need to beat it with a mixer. It's going to be fine like this. I'm going to put it in a well-greased and well-floured bundt cake pan, and I'm going to put it in a 350-degree preheated oven for about 45 minutes. Since the recipe doesn't specifically say to spray with Pam or something like that, I just used a bit of butter flavor, Crisco's, that's what I did in the old days when I didn't have spray. So I'll put a bunch of it all over, and if there's any much left, I'll, you know, get rid of that. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with this powder. So when I reached on the top shelf for it, it hit the ground, and it only spilled a little bit. When it hit, it bashed some out, you know, with air pressure. So this is, I don't know what I'll do with it now. I mean, I'll use it right now, but I don't think I can store it like this. So anyway, I'm going to get to greasing that pan, and I'll show you. I use a glove to grease the pan. I know I can use a plastic like storage baggie, but I think this gives me more control and maybe cheaper than a baggie. So now I'll just sprinkle a little flour, not a lot, but you know, so everybody gets some in here. So there you can see that, you know, it's greased and floured all over. And with these kind of pans, if yours has crevices like these, make sure you get down in there. See, like that little bitty spot right there might cause a problem. Can you see how it's just the only shiny thing there? I might fix that. So there we go, that's about empty. And I'm gonna clean this off of here, because all that's gonna do is sit there and burn solid. So I'm gonna roll that off of there. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven, which is ready. I just saw that this recipe did say that you could use Baker's Joy, which is a spray that has some flour in it. I haven't bought that probably since the late 80s. I used to buy it regular instead of Pam, so maybe I should get some of that next time. Anyway, she also says in the recipe, suggests that this is when you use a perfectly moist spice cake mix, there's quite a bit of spice in it. There's, here you go, cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice already in it. So when you add more spice to it, it could be overwhelming to some tender people like children. So you can use a yellow cake mix if you want and just add cinnamon to that, and it might be, you know, along with the apple cider, it might be enough. But, you know, it may be fine for them. You know your own children. and your own palate. So, like I said, 45 minutes, I'm checking it at 30 to make sure that my oven isn't cooking faster than it should. And I'll pull it out and give it a stick with a toothpick. So I stuck a toothpick in, I'll show you. I just go in there where there's a crack and it's totally clean. Well, there's a crumb on there you can see, and that's good. Nothing liquidy looking you want on your toothpick. So then it says to cool it on a wire rack for 20 minutes. Now, I do this instead. I've had this triple sec bottle for many, many years. And it goes on top of there. It just fits right on top. Whenever I use one of these kind of bundt pans, that's how I cool it. I feel like it does a faster, more even job than a wire rack does. So that's my spiel on that. 20 minutes. Last 3 ingredients. We have 1/4 cup of butter, so that's 1/2 of a stick if you're using traditional sticks of butter, and I'm using salted regular real butter. 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. I'm going to mix these together. As soon as 20 minutes is over, I'm going to brush the top of it. Well, I'll take it out of the pan first, and I'll brush along the top with this melted butter, and then I'll sprinkle the cinnamon sugar on top of that, kind of cinnamon toast style. What do you think? I think it sounds good. Okay. And then I still haven't done any prep for dinner. I need to do that because it is, no kidding, 4:30 in the afternoon already. At least it's a no-cook dinner for me tonight. Here's something else the recipe suggests if you have children. She says cinnamon is subjective. So this is, like I said, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. So it's going to be very cinnamony. If you have somebody that's sensitive to cinnamon or children, you might want to cut back the cinnamon amount by half, or just put sugar on top if you want. I'm trying to make sure I get all of it mixed together so you know how it hides out there in the corners. Yeah. Okay, the pan was fabulous. The cake just popped right out. I turned it over upside down with a dish, and here, I wanted to show you. That's how much butter I had left, and that's how much cinnamon sugar. I did not want to put more butter on it than that. 1/4 cup is just too much in my opinion. And I could have put more cinnamon, but I felt like it would be wasteful. You know, once you've got cinnamon on there, you got cinnamon on there. Right? Okay, I'm talking to granddaughter Patience. She's here. Here it is. Now, it looks kind of like it's overcooked, but that's actually just cinnamon. You know, cinnamon is darker on the cake. And so what you see missing here is because, who's here?
Hello.
Patience is here and her mama's here. And so we each had a slice, and they had vanilla ice cream on top of theirs. And so that is my whole video. The cake was delicious. I think that I won't make it again just because I've been there, done that, and I like to do new things. You know, I have a few things that I repeat, but you know, like old family stuff, but this was fine. I would give it, out of 5, I would give it a 4, a solid 4. So if you see the, I'm going to show you one more time. You could even just look it up. Apple cider donut cake. And I'm going to try to link it below so that you can find it more easily than that, than having to search. And I'm going to put a lid on this cake so it stays moist. And I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Think about subscribing if you haven't. I would love it. Make a comment. Say hi. Say, what else can they do? Oh, somebody's here.